I'm Jody Hand, Mrs. Hand Painted, and in today's video I'll be showing you a quick loose flower daisies picture that you can paint along with me. I'm trying to just do it as fast and loose as I possibly can and not get too fussy with the details. So paint along with me and paint some fun spring daisies. Alright, I'm going to be doing a little loose flowers of daisies. Maybe some other little yellow flowers in there with it. I've got some Fabriano Artistico cold pressed paper. This is their extra white block, size 5x7. I'm going to use my Princeton Velvetouch brushes today. Probably use my 8 and my 4. And I'm just going to sketch out a couple little daisy shapes just so I can kind of map out where I want them. I'm kind of just going off of a little reference picture I found online here, just to kind of how I want to lay them out. So I'm just drawing where the centers of the flowers are going to be. So I'm just drawing some little ovals here. I have one that'll kind of be turned this way outward. Maybe I have one here, and another one that kind of is tucked behind it maybe. And I could do some little like bud pieces here. Maybe another bud down here. And I could put some small little flowers about, here. Okay. Alright, that kind of just gives me a general idea of where I want those. And I'm going to start out by mixing up some color here to make my daisies. But since daisies are white, generally still have a little bit of a bluish gray tint to them. So I am going to mix up on my extremely messy palette here. Find a little spot and clean it off here actually. I'm just going to get that a little wet and wipe that off so I can there, get a cleaner spot. Okay. Alright, with my 8, my round 8, I'm going to take some Ultramarine. A little bit of my burnt sienna. I've got a burnt sienna light actually. I'm going to make myself a nice blue-gray. A little more Ultramarine there. Just mix that up until you get, see it's on more, it's a gray, but it's more on the blue side. You add a little more of the burnt sienna to get it more on the brown, and you just keep going back and forth until you get the color you want. Alright, that's pretty good in my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start doing my daisies. And this one, whoa, that is way too dark. There we go, easily fixed. So I have my petals. Alright, so I had the flowers turning, so these petals that are on the underside are actually coming up toward the center, so then you're not going to see the entire center. I can just kind of, and I really needed to dilute that down quite a bit. That's very dark. And so this one will be more forward facing. Okay, so as you might notice, on these ones that I've gotten too dark, what I'm doing is just rinsing my brush off, clean water. I'm not getting more pigment, and I'm just going back and picking it up and using that for my next ones. I'm just making the little petal shapes, just kind of going quickly here. I don't want it to be too fussy. Okay, so now I want to do some little yellow flowers that'll be kind of around here, and I'll work on the stems. So I'm going to switch over to my size 4. I'm actually going to go ahead and just put some of my foliage in right now. My leaves, I'm going to use some undersea green. This is like my favorite green from Daniel Smith. And I'm just going to paint in my stems. So this one is coming from behind. And so this one, because I'm seeing the underside, I'm going to see a little bit of that bottom of that, where like it's like a cupped shape that comes up on the bottom of the flowers where the petals are growing out of. And so I'm just kind of thinking paying very close attention to my petals here, and where will that stem come through, so I can go down and just have an imaginary line that would go through all of those. Okay, maybe I'll have some more stem and grass-like pieces here. I'm just gonna paint in some random stuff here and have some pieces coming up off the side. And I'll have some little buds in here too. So I did kind of sketch in a few where I wanted them. And so the buds will be kind of just rounded. And I'll leave a little space near the top to just kind of put a little bit of yellow maybe, or that more of that gray color that I have. So there's like a little bud. Alright, so I want to make that a little bit darker on that side. I have, oh, there's some indigo here kind of. I'm just going to drop in a tiny bit of indigo on the edges of those buds. Just make them a little darker, and I'll put a little bit here maybe on the bottom of that flower too. Okay. We have a few pieces of that green that are more indigo coming in there. Okay, I'm gonna rinse my brush. I'm gonna work some yellow together here a little bit. Sorry, my super messy palette here. Man. Okay, I want to get some. I have a Hansa Yellow Light. Just to make some little kind of 5-petaled flowers here. Actually, I'm going to mix a little bit of yellow ochre into there. Just make that more of a, not quite so lemony. I don't really know the terminology for that. Alright, so putting some little 5-petaled little yellow flowers down here. I'll put one right there maybe. One that's kind of coming off my page too. That would be nice. There we go. Okay, now I'll make a few little stems with that. I'm going to switch to like a lighter green. I'm going to use my green gold. I'll give that some kind of like grass-like blade leaves here. And then for these little buds, I'm going to go back to that blue-gray mixture that I had. I'm just going to put a little bit right there. And I bled all over the place, sorry. That's all right. That's just really loose and... all right, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to do the centers of my daisies. I want that to be kind of an orangey yellow. So I'm going to use my Hansa Yellow Deep. And I think I'll put a little bit of this Quinacridone Deep Gold in there. Yeah, that's pretty. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of do that oval shape that's in the middle. And so here, since I'm in the inside and I have petals in front, I just sort of go around that. I think I'll drop in just a tiny bit of brown in there. So I got a little bit of transparent brown oxide. I'm just going to tap a little bit of that in there just to give that a little bit of dimension. Just kind of push that around a little bit. Alright, so I kind of want to do a little bit of definition on my petals so it doesn't look like just a big old blob. So I'm just going back to my gray with a size 1. And I just want to just very lightly go on the edges and make a few little lines that would show the petal details. And I'm not completely going around the petals. I'm just making a few little dashes here and there. I want to add a little detail to my little, so that same kind of orangey color I mixed up, just do the centers with that. Kind of look like little buttercups, I guess. Okay, so now I want to kind of just add in a little bit more of a background to this. Maybe just kind of make a blurry little background that just kind of comes up against the edge. Sometimes it's nice to do the backgrounds first, but since I was doing kind of white flowers, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. So I'm just going to put some clean water in there with my round 8. I'm just kind of loosely putting it in. I'm not trying to cover the entire thing. And I'm going to drop in some of that same green gold that I used for the leaves. And I'm going to I'll do a little bit of the ultramarine. Just kind of mix that gray in there. And just kind of very delicately put some in there. I don't have to get completely covered. And get that in there. And if you get too much color in a certain spot, just get your brush wet with no paint on it and just kind of pick that paint up and blend it around. And here I got kind of a line I don't really want, so I'm just going to blend that out. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my one with that golden yellow color that I mixed up, and I'm just going to dry this really quick right around those yellow flowers. Okay, and I just want to just maybe go around those. Maybe not, get a little more of that yellow light. Ah, got all my other colors bleeding into that. That was a little too dark. I just kind of lost the edge of a couple of my flowers there, so just wanted to just go over that again. Just pick that up again. There we go. That was a little too dark. Okay. This one I had a little bit of that weird feathering. I'm not a fan of that. Let me just add another layer over that. And golden color here. There. That turned out really pretty.